Pop quiz. Look at the colors on the screen and tell me, how do they make you feel? Now, how about this one? And last one. If you are like 99% of the population, you probably chose these answers. Each set of colors made you feel a different emotion. Why? How is this relationship even important? The point of this entire video is to show you that the secret in deciding colors for all of your artwork is emotion. I'm going to reveal the 3 ways you can pick your colors based on emotion, and then you will be able to make your art connect to your audience on a whole new level. Hi, my name is Shami and I've been making digital art for more than 4 years, and I absolutely love color and light design in visual storytelling. Welcome to my channel, and let's dive in. Before even thinking about color, you need to decide how you want your audience to feel. Do you want them to look at your painting and smile, cry, laugh, or gasp in fear? Once you have that figured out, then even the same subject matter can be designed to feel different ways. What makes these images feel different are 3 things. First of which is value. This is the most important thing that determines the mood of your image. Value is how light or dark a color is. Any color can go from really bright to really dark. For example, if we look at this image by Arthur Fong and zoom in here, both of these colors are green, but they are far apart on the value scale, making this one much higher in value. But since we're thinking about color designing our image as a whole and not any one color, let's zoom back out and examine the entire image based on its value. Would you say this image is mostly dark colors or mostly light colors? I'd say this one is mostly lights. How about this one? Looks like mostly darks to me. Whether the majority of your values are darks or lights will greatly influence the mood of your image. Paintings with a lot of dark colors are normally associated with negative emotions, like fear, sadness, and loneliness. And on the flip side, lots of light colors feel more positive, and you can show joy, excitement, or wonder. Of course, you can always have your colors take up the middle values to show more neutral emotions like serenity or peace. Now, disclaimer. There are no rules in art. You can do whatever you want, however you want. Picasso himself said, "Learn the rules like a pro, so you can break them like an artist." So all of what I am saying are more guidelines than rules. To further drive home the importance of values, let's look at this color design I did and turn it to grayscale. Even without the colors, it looks bright and luminous. Now let's take the same painting and completely darken the values. Even though the subject hasn't changed, it feels so much more ominous and scary. But there's something else at play here. Yes, this is mostly lights and this is mostly darks. So this one feels positive and this one negative. But we need to consider the value contrast as well. Value contrast is the difference between, well, values. Hold on, let me explain. Here we have pure black and pure white. They are far apart on the scale and so are high in value contrast. Here is a gray with a slightly darker gray. They are closer on the scale and low in value contrast. Normally, the higher the value contrast, the more intense the emotion. It's useful in cases where you want to show emotions like fear, anger, or drama. When I adjusted this image, I increased both the amount of dark values and the value contrast in order to drive home the fear factor. So the key takeaway here is that value is your mood maker. Dark values are generally negative and light values are positive. and the higher the value contrast, the more intense the emotion. With that in mind, let's move on to the next point. Color temperature can make your art heartwarming or bone chilling, and the temperature is determined by the hue and saturation. I said three new concepts in that sentence. Let's break them down. Temperature is how warm or cool your color is. This can mean towards the yellows, oranges, and reds, which is the warm end of the color strip. Or it can be more of the greens and blues and purples, which is the cool end. These are the hues. This is what we normally know as color.
The pen is blue. The pen is blue!
Now we have saturation, which is how intense a color is. If we have this red color, I can make it even warmer by increasing its intensity and making it redder. On the other hand, I can make it cooler by decreasing its intensity and making it less red. So if temperature drives the emotion in your painting, how do you know which temperature to use? You might have guessed where I'm going with this. Warm temperatures are associated with positive emotions like happiness and wonder and romance, and cold temperatures, negative emotions like sadness and loneliness. We see this in movies all the time. Whenever a character is sad, the frame tends to be tinted towards the cools, and whenever there's excitement, the frame is filled with warm colors. I used the same thinking in one of my paintings. Here it's a warm moment between a father and son, and I designed a golden hour lighting so I could use a lot of warm colors. There are cool colors as well, but there are way more warms than cools. Again, these aren't rules. You can have a happy scene with cool colors and a sad scene with warm colors. In these images, the characters and the story moment are driving the emotion more than the color design. So quick summary. Emotion is motivated by temperature. Warm is positive and cold negative. Now onto the final point. Local colors. The more the merrier. Local colors are the inherent colors of an object and are similar to hues. For example, you can have a tree that is green, or orange, or pink, or even white. Typically, the more different local colors in a scene, the more positive it feels. This is why you feel happy when confetti blows, or at festivals always have lots of colors flying around. It just feels more exciting. But it's not just the number of different local colors that matters. It's important to look at the hues as well. Specific color combinations tend to drive specific emotions. Saturated purples, reds, and pinks feel romantic. Greens, oranges, and yellows seem warm and natural. Saturated reds versus greens can look creepy and unnatural. Explore with different color combinations and experiment. So it's important to know that the more local colors, the more positive, and specific color combinations can elicit specific emotions. Now to tie in all the points, I'm going to use this simple sketch of a building and do 3 color designs using different color combinations to elicit different emotions. I'm using the same principles that we went through concerning value, color temperature, and local colors. The first one is mostly lights, has lots of warms, and many different local colors. The second design is based on a specific hue combination of saturated reds, pinks, and purples. And the final one is mostly darks, is very cool in color temperature, and has very few, if any, local colors. All of my color decisions are based on the relationship between color and emotion. I was very careful to choose an inanimate subject so I wouldn't have a facial expression. Often a character's expression is a very strong element in driving emotion, and I wanted the emotions in these studies to come only from color and not facial expressions. In each of these studies, you can see how often I change my mind. I could just strictly follow the principles of color and always go with what I know will work, but it's important to try different things and have fun with the process. For me, the initial stage is focused on problem solving. I'll place blocks of color and value based on the emotion and start from there. If I have an idea, I'll try it. And if I don't like it, I can just paint it over or remove it if it's on another layer. If there's an idea I want to try that will affect the majority of the image, I will definitely put it on another layer. But if I'm still in the initial stages, then I'll use just one layer and paint over anything that doesn't work. As the studies come to a finish, I hope you can not only see the differences between them, but feel them as well. And if you look closely, you'll notice that these studies are based on the same colors that you saw in the beginning. Hopefully, you now understand why you chose these answers, and you have a better idea of how you can choose colors for your art based on emotion. Thanks for watching and happy creating.